widespread calls for medical facilities to be exempt from rolling blackouts. But it appears hospitals are not the only establishments affected. Universities as well as schools are also taking a knock, and panic is setting in as we approach the end of year exam period. eNCA's Ngobile Matlala is in Durban and joins us yet again. Good morning again, Ngobile. What are students saying? I mean, one can only imagine how difficult it's been for them having come out of the floods. There's been unrest that we saw last year. Their families had to recover from that. Some were displaced. It's been a lot that has been happening in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And now, even with the load shedding, inability to prepare for those exams, how are they coping?
But at this point, Fundo, they have said that this has exacerbated the issue, and a lot of them saying that they are stressed. So load shedding, you can imagine that it's coming at such a rough time in KwaZulu-Natal. So this is not something that they were hoping for. But of course, there's that anxiety when it goes to schooling that there is a hope that there will be power, but they don't know if there will be any. But we have heard from Basic Education telling us that they also are hoping for better results, but the worry is that it's the preparation that has been affected. But now I'm joined by Bheki Mtolo of eNCA, and I want to speak to him about the issues of Eskom. I mean, Provincial Secretary General, we've heard that KwaZulu-Natal has been affected by, of course, load shedding. This comes at the back of the floods. What is your take on what's currently happening?
Our take is simply that the CEO knows nothing what is happening there. I think also the board is failing. It's unfortunate. I think Professor Makhoba was not supposed to accept that position of being a chair of that board. Remember, it's a man who came and transformed UKZN. It's a man of integrity. It's a man of intense work. But to accept to work with those people there, it's bad for him. I think for him to resign voluntarily before his integrity, his reputation is damaged further, I think it's better for him. Because we know, in KZN now, we know his work. We know his capabilities. He's a man who can do things around. But I think Eskom was put on deep end because he was given a CEO's useless. Sooner he resigns and then the whole board gets fired, and then the CEO gets fired, and then they get someone who's experienced in terms of electricity. Because they put three major issues that if you go to the Department of Public Enterprise, for example, on their roadmap of electricity capacity in the country that they did in 2019, it lists at least three major factors that affect Eskom for now. Firstly, it does agree that at least Eskom's got capacity of 40 gigawatts in the grid, which as a country a day we need less than that. Now, the issue is about they talk about pure maintenance. They talk about substandard coal. They talk about less stockpile of coal. Those things can be solved by a CEO who's capable, who's got a vision, but also the board that will enter into a serious performance management contract with him and give him clear, smart target that are specific, measurable, realistic, time bound, and achievable. Now, that's what needs to happen at Eskom then. And I can tell you, if they can do that now, entry director by 2 months he will be gone, because he won't match the target, because he knows nothing about what happens at Eskom. They must just go out and look for it. For example, you would know a CEO leading such a big company. Once you are attacked like that, if you are a good CEO, you will take a leave. For example, remember Sizwe Nxasana, when he was put to NSFAS and they realized that the system is too much, and then he was starting to get a lot of problems. He said, no, I've got a good reputation. He left. This one can't leave because there's no any company that can employ him. Shame. It's Eskom.
So as KwaZulu-Natal, then you feel like that he must leave. But will that then be a solution?
Not as KwaZulu-Natal. Every port in South Africa, they want that man leaves. Every port.
But is that a solution then for the load shedding? I mean, is that an easy solution?
It's a solution. It's a solution because you will bring a CEO that will do quality maintenance, a CEO that will make sure that he procures quality coal, a CEO that will make sure that he stockpile coal, and then it's done. That's what
Wouldn't you?
The system is called. The system is there. The grid is there. The issue is maintenance. The issue is providing quality coal to the coal-fired plants. That's what is needed. Then If you say to not fire a CEO, there will be no need to have CEO in any company. If the argument I hear from other people whom I don't think they've done strategic human resource management, there will be no need to have a CEO. A CEO, you bring him to lead the institution to bring quality-based results.
But wouldn't you agree that will then take time to fix? Doesn't matter who will be the CEO.
It won't take time. It won't take time. I mean, if you can put me to Eskom, I will go there. I know. I'm not. But at least because I know this, I will say, where do you order coal? Where can you get quality coal? What is need to be done on maintenance? What resources you need? I put resources as CEO, and then I make sure that maintenance is done, and they must report to me on daily basis, at least for 4 months. Then load shedding is done.
But have you checked with the rater that is not doing the same thing?
If it's doing the same thing, there will be no load shedding. It's not doing the same. It's not doing the same thing because, let me tell you, Andrew Tereta has costed a load shedding that is above what has ever happened in Eskom from 2007 up to 2018, because he knows nothing, Shem. Only what it works on his favor is only his color. He's a white man. He's always right.
But is it possible that you speak of this because of the reports that we are hearing, sources saying that Gordhan could possibly replace the Eskom board?
Sorry?
Is it possible that you are saying this, or you're taking this stance now because we're hearing reports from sources that Gordhan could possibly be replacing Eskom board?
Thank you to hear that. I was not aware. Thank you that you hear that. I think because they have been getting pressure, I think it has come to his senses that real South Africans are fed up about Eskom. Let me tell you, I went to one of the restaurants last week here. I was wearing an eNCA t-shirt. When I went there, there were ladies that were sitting in a table. There were around 12 of them. They just said to me, when I'm fixing Eskom, when I'm fixing electricity, we can't live like this. And then I was so embarrassed. But I said to them, the only answer, I said, I don't work for Eskom. But it's because they know we are leading the country. They want answers. People are devastated. This load shedding has costed billions of rents on corporates, on companies. It has robbed the youth a lot of opportunities. It can't carry on like this. In fact, if we carry on like this, it means we're handing the ANC over to a silver platter. It's going to be defeated.
So how would you rate the Eskom board then so far in terms of the work that they have done?
Dismal failure. Dismal failure. You know why these people, they dismally fail? It's because you go to parliament. Instead of accounting of what you do as a board member, you enter a political grandstanding. You attack the ANC, and all South Africans are diverted. They praise the board member. Yeah, this is the board member we want. A board member that can insult the ANC. He knows then after that, he dodge accountability. Then what happens? We got load shedding. Because he could not answer there. That's why the only to dodge accountability is to insult the ANC. When you insult the ANC, it becomes a hero of a board member. But South Africans, they don't want insult to the ANC or to any party. When they appoint you to a public corporation, they want you to do what is best for them. Now, it's proven that they really don't know what to do.
But I mean, people on the ground are blaming government for what is currently happening with Eskom as well. And you, part of the governing party, why haven't you, or if you have, sat down with your principals or the leaders and speak about these issues?
They are correct to blame us. You know why they are correct to blame us? It's us. They've elected us into office. We are the ones who appoint the minister. We are the ones who appoint the board. It's the board that appoints the CEO. They are correct to blame us. That's why we, as members of the ANC, we as structures of the ANC, we are saying to those higher up there, act before it's too late. Our people are very devastated about this thing.
Well, so today we heard you announce your preferred candidates, which is Bheki Mtolo. If you could perhaps give us an idea in terms of why you're choosing him, and did NDZ feature in any of these negotiations?
What a good question. You know, Dr. Bheki Mtolo has been a leader of the ANC for some time. Come from exile. He came in here, then he was elected the deputy chair of Ndebele for 10 years. He was also elected directly an NEC member from 2002. He served almost until he was elected TG. Then when he was elected premier in KZN, let's take him when he was a MEC for health. If you go to KZN, for example, you find any clinic, a world-class clinic in a rural area, it was built by Bheki Mtolo. If you go to Chifat Bedlitun, you know Chifat Bedlitun Hospital is the best hospital in the Southern Hemisphere. It was built by Bheki Mtolo. It's a man who turns things around. Who when he walks, it's like a snake. he leaves a mark of government. You know, when he arrived at national government, the Minister of Health, he discovered a policy of the ANC that was adopted in Mahikeng, National Health Insurance. When he left, he was about to roll it out. Then he left. He's a man, when he arrived at the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal in 2009, we had a deficit here at the provincial government as a premier. He turned things around, efficient, people were accounting. One HOD was telling me when I was elected, now I meet the HOD, they said, Zweli Mkhize need to meet them at 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. They will have to account item by item as a premier in Parkside in Maritzburg. He said, I don't know how this man, he doesn't sleep. That's who he is. When he's given a task, he doesn't fail. But also, he has also connected with all sectors of society. You see, you talk about Amabuto and KwaZulu-Natal, even in the Eastern Cape, in other provinces in Mpumalanga, he's got a lot of connection with institution of traditional leadership. He's a man who can connect with people because he knows that is beyond. That's why through the Alpha says, if you elect a leader of the ANC, it's a leader that must earn respect from ANC members and non-members alike. That is Zweli Mkhize for you. You hear what Mtwana Kapindangene said, Zweli Mkhize is my friend. I respect him because that's how he works. He works beyond ANC political affiliation. He works with everybody. He's a leader we need.
But of course you would agree that there is currently a question in terms of what happened under COVID.
What question?
Which in terms of the PPE.
What question?
Well, how are you backing him up in terms of what we have heard, the investigations that are still yet to continue?
No, there are no investigations. We are lying. Hawks are on record that Zweli Mkhize is not under investigation. The people who can investigate in this country is Hawks as the police, and then he's not under investigation. Then don't lie. He's not under investigation. And then SIU did their own things. Officials at the Department of Health were charged. They went to a disparate process. SIU could not prove a case. Those officials are back at work. The only thing is that they were found guilty of negligence. Which happens to anybody, but not that they were influenced, the tender was manipulated. Then I think they were rushing, Shem. They were rushing because during COVID, it did very well because people became paranoid that, oh, this one, because now it's starting to be very popular, let's put him aside. They failed. Now they are in problem because even if they want to arrest him, they must start to instruct Hawks to investigate. It will take time. December is here. Then by December, they must be ready. He will close the conference. Because we know that it's a man, when you give him a responsibility, he works and put results in place. You know, during COVID, he was even applauded by President Ramaphosa as one of the best ministers that was doing with the issue of COVID.
But did you consider Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma as well?
We've considered Zweli Mkhize as a presidential candidate. We could have considered ANC in KZN's got 136,000 members. In the country, it's close to 1 million. We could have considered Zamani Soul in the Northern Cape. We could have considered our Howling Balula, but we didn't. We chose Zweli Mkhize.
All right, and I mean, just lastly, I mean, you were speaking about the fact that there's quite a number of work that Zweli Mkhize has done in KwaZulu-Natal. Part of those institutions are the ones that are being subjected to load shedding. Have you found and any clinics on the ground that need assistance, and is this something that you will be doing as ANC?
No, it's costing a government. Remember, every clinic's got a generator that runs through diesel. That's what we are saying. This load shedding is not only costing private corporates, it's costing South African, it's also straining the capacity of government because the money that's supposed to go to medical supplies, to cleaning supplies in our public health facilities is rechanneled to load shedding to keep lights on, especially at the theatre, because you can't know to run without power in those areas. There are areas that are critical in a hospital, like emergency services, that you can't run without power. Then money is diverted to run those electricity generators. Remember, look at Prince Msheni, it's a huge hospital, it's a huge public institution, King Edward, Grace, Edendale, and all that. Imagine if it's 4 hours. By the way, can I give you a task? Go and ask at home how many. We're not on stage 6. They take load shedding more than that. They take it a day, during the day they take it 2 times, 4 hours. Then at night they take it almost 6 hours. It's totally not stage 6. We are already on stage 14.
All right. Thank you very much. Bheki Mtolo speaking to us outside the ANC house. But we are hearing that he's saying that we are on load shedding 13 already. But I mean, we do understand that there are a lot of institutions in KwaZulu-Natal that are currently suffering, including those university students, as well as those that are in high school and primary school. But the answer for them and the solution is that Eskom needs to relook in terms of their CEO.
All right. Thank you very much for that. A very interesting conversation you had there around stage 14, as Bheki Mtolo says. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much, Nqobile Madlala, who's out in Durban for us.